in it because I put it as unlisted, but this way I can get it over and done with and it's nice and quiet, so that way you can hear my voice. But I don't have the mic plugged in because my phone's gonna die. So anyway, essentially the way that this is gonna go, you'll be getting one Dark Goddess card thrown at you, one Daemon Tarot Oracle card thrown at you, and your unique deck. And I know I chose the same one for Libra and Leo. Whoop de woo. You got the Dark Angels Tarot. And essentially, we'll be doing a basic cross spread for that one. And this is intended for somebody who has a Scorpio ascendant, but if you only know your sun sign, that is perfectly fine. And cross watchers, even though I completely understand it, try your best to not really cross watch. But if it can't be helped, then fine, it is what it is. So anyway, we're going to start with the Dark Goddesses first. As you know, ladies first. Huh. Okay then. Starting off right at the bat, we have Sekhmet. Looks like we have the Scorpio turning up some sass here. That's your goddess for the week. I mean the month. Apologies for that one. And now your, I'm going to say your D's, your daemons. That was going to sound just majestic if I said your D's. Time for your D's. And your daemon card is, I said, Flavaros. And kind of fire up the battle I'm getting with these two. Well, Sekhmet, if you know Egyptian mythology, she was the one that table flipped and, turned up his ass on all the humans in Egypt. And Ra had to trick her in drinking red wine instead of more blood to sedate her and get her intoxicated to stop table flipping all over the place. And Flavors is believed that whenever he emerges or when he's, contacted, no matter what he says, he's not going to be telling you the whole exact truth. However, he actually tries to convince the person who conjured him or summoned him to pretty much bend to his will, if that makes sense, if I'm recalling it correctly. But if I'm not recalling it correctly, someone correct me nicely. So, right off the bat, don't let somebody try and deceive you away from your true strengths or like where you get your source of strength from. If you know something that doesn't fit well with you, don't go with it. If you know something that does fit with you, then stick with it. Don't let someone outside of you decide that, I'm going to try and woozy woo them and deceive them out of where they want to go and what, they like. Don't let somebody take your sense of power away from you, as number one. And if you're in a situation where somebody is clearly lighting his pants on fire and being a liar, just with them. Just get them out of your life. Because you don't need that kind of BS. And no, Scorpio, please don't follow them to the vehicle at night and, just have them somehow magically just get, like a nail in the back of their neck. Please don't do that. I mean, if you have to, fine. But it's best recommended you don't. So, first card, current position, current standing, altogether. How are we doing altogether, like in a general summary terms? Current position, we have the Ace of Wands, and funny enough, it has a skull on a stick. So, if you're currently in a position where you're feeling that you need to put your thoughts and your way of thinking, as well as your pretty much how your life wanting to be, this is the time that you have to put your vision up higher and you have to find a better way to keep people away from your head and trying to mess with it. Don't let people do that to you. And that seems to be like the same loud message that I'm getting. Know what you like and what makes you strong, and stay away from somebody that's trying to woo you and decide you about it. But also sometimes too, people may not have that intention. Instead, maybe consider taking their suggestion, because you don't have to do everything everybody tells you to do. You can look at it and think, okay, I'll keep that in consideration. And pretty much all all you can do is open up your perspective. That's it. You should not be any more than that. So regarding your financial standing, your health, essentially gains, sense of security, we have blowing the horn and wakey wakey, we have the judgment card. So probably regarding a position at work or a job of some kind, you actually might be getting a yoo-hoo. Let's see if you learned your lesson. Let's try this again. Hanky, panky, and spanky, because there's 3 angels down there at the bottom. If you have a health condition, now it's probably going to be something that you have to address right now that you thought you overcame, but now is back again. So now it's making you try and figure out why is it not being cured or the whatnot. If you have a financial responsibility like a, to put it this way, if you have outstanding debt from a collections agency, this could be an indication that, oh, you have some moolah to pay. And if you have a sense of security, you actually might be getting tested to see, is this sense of security really secure, or is it just a bunch of BS? But that all depends on your situation. Just make sure that when you're being tested too, make sure you're not being too harsh to those that are involved. Because the other angels below that big one, they're kind of in terror and they're kind of like, oh, Lord Lanta, please don't be too harsh. And same like if somebody's giving you medical help or telling you about a condition, just make sure that you're not being too overly critical. That's pretty much what I got for that one. Regarding communications, interactions with others, and growing your intelligence or studying a new subject or involving your IQ, card that flew out is the 5 of Cups. If you're kind of disappointed that you have tried to make contact with somebody and it hasn't been like the most open and not the most fulfilling, I would suggest just stop trying. Because if you're going to be putting forth the effort to try and communicate, why do you have to suffer and they pretty much leave you in there in the dark? Nobody ever should ever do that anymore. If you're trying to communicate with someone and trying to be open, and if they're going to stay closed, fine, let them stay closed. At the end of the day, it's not really your problem. But if they were putting on a disguise or a game, being like, oh, yeah, I like you and all, we'll talk and we'll figure things out, and they all of a sudden they don't speak to you, okay, doodaloo, not your problem. You don't need to be wasting your sense of empowerment and what makes you you for people that aren't really trying to have your best interest first. They're not really trying to give you the best and have you reach for higher up. So don't even waste your time with that. Obstacle or motivating force. This can be either something that's giving you a good kick in the tush or something that's telling you you're gonna have to go against this week. Obstacle or the motivating force is the Knight of Swords. So your motivating force could be someone a little bit younger or the same age, kind of telling you to put it into high gear, or your challenge is trying to actually really take initiative and stop twiddling your thumbs. But make sure that you don't go too fast that you can pretty much overdo it to the point where you completely miss what you're trying to do. Or maybe you're even, when you're trying to reach for something that you have a lot of energy for and a lot of zest for, make sure you don't overshoot it and fly over it, and then you completely whiff your desired place. And if the person that you're trying to communicate with isn't listening to you, don't even bother. Don't even bother. Because your sense of security that's being tested, or your everyday 3D living situation, if they're not going to help you with this, don't even bother. If you have to take it up by your bootstraps and do it yourself, just do it. Just do it and make sure that you do it to the best of your ability, and don't even really consider anybody else trying and blow you off or make you feel like you're not being heard. If they're not going to invest in you, don't even bother investing back. So, regarding emotions, feelings, the cheesy stuff, all the things that make Cupid shoot you to make you start licking one another. Oh, we have the devil. But no, 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 no. This is not the Chris Farley devil. This is a different one. This depiction, we have a beautiful woman in black, and she has these very gorgeous violet, scarlet, black wings. And she has a veil over her face, and she's surrounded by masks. This depiction, I would like to say that regarding romantic relationships and the whatnot, if you're trying to find somebody, you actually might encounter somebody who is very mysterious. But again, you got to be careful. Mysterious and being left in the dark, that's a form of seduction. And you got to be careful not to really go in and trust something you're not really familiar with yet, because you might get woozy-wooed and doing something that you don't want to do. If you're currently in a with somebody and you're investing in somebody, this can be a potential. This can potentially say that there might be somebody involved that is deceiving you or your other person. But also, maybe this can also be an indication that your significant other might actually maybe want to consider doing something that's a little bit more of the, little dirty side. But and I know I'm getting this too. If for some reason there's some part of them that putting on and acting differently, talk to them about it and address it and see if everything's okay with them. Just make sure that you're not losing control and allowing something that's not them come through and mess up with your security and make you act too rash. And make sure you take initiative on it, because if you don't take initiative, that's when everything will just go off on its own and then not even care about what happens to you, and it'll just leave you behind. We don't want that. We want you to stay in your power and to not let anything deceive you in the way you don't want it to. So that's what I got for you this month, Scorpio, and I will see you on the next one.